earning what you must earn. You have the time you must have. If you say to me, I really want a relationship, but I'm not in one, then your relationship's a should and not a must. What's really a must is you don't want to be hurt. It's a must not to be hurt. If it's a must not to be hurt, you're not going to be in a relationship. Because if you're going to be in a relationship, there's going to be hurts. That's part of the nature of a relationship. There's going to be more joy than you could ever imagine, too. Like the advantage. You want to get the edge. Get over your fear. Tell yourself the truth. You got to take a specific time each day where you break away from hypnosis of the culture that tells you to settle for less than you can be, that tells you not to get your hopes up, that tells you you should protect yourself, that tells you that basically your life cannot be what you dreamed about as a child. And I'm here to tell you that as long as you buy into the culture, you'll be like the majority of the population who have no advantage and have to settle for a life that really is what I call no man's land. A life where they're not really happy, but they're not unhappy enough doing about it. A life where there is no passion and no real drive. Just that sinking feeling that your life does not have a real meaning or a real purpose, but you got to continue. That's a place no one wants to live, and that's unfortunately where the majority of people live. Do you agree with me on this or disagree? If you disagree, I'm respectful of that. But if you want more, if you believe that that's possible and you're the kind of person that won't settle, then this is the first session in you reclaiming your power. It's the first session in you putting your foot down and saying, I will not be denied. It's the first session in you saying, my body, my mind, my emotions, my relationships, my finances, my career, they're not going to be perfect, but they're going to be extraordinary. And it won't be overnight, but what will change overnight is my expectations of myself. Not my expectations will suddenly be perfect without any work. This is not a little cajoling session to say, I'm going to pump myself up. I'm going to be Stuart Smalley and say, I'm good enough, I'm strong enough, I'm kind enough, and by golly, people like me. No! Some people don't like you. Some people are going to fight to try and keep you from achieving. Some people are going to tell you you're wasting your time. And some people are going to try and trip you up are people that you love. And it's not because they don't love you or they're trying to hurt you. It's they don't want to be left behind. Or they don't want, your success to make them feel inferior, like you're achieving, or even if you're not succeeding, even if you're striving, and they're not, there's contrast in that. That's part of life. You think anything else is to be dumb, and you're not dumb, or you would have turned this tape off a long time ago.
All right, guys, welcome, guys. Welcome, everyone, to the Mindset Academy. Thanks, everyone, for coming in. Listen, we got a really good speaker in tonight, guys. We got one of our coaches down from Bean Lee. So I'll bring him on in a second, guys. Tonight he's going to be telling you a little bit about his background, sort of how he got started as a coach, but more importantly, his result and how he's been able to sort of keep that off and step it up each time. So, guys, I'm really excited to introduce, guys. We have Jake Wilmott all the way down from Bean Lee, guys. I'll unmute everyone so you can all give him a clap, guys. Let's welcome in Jake. Welcome, Jake. How you going, buddy? You there, Jake? How are you?
I am good.
Very good. So where are you at the moment?
We're at Fit Club, in the Bean Lee Fit Club. We just, everyone sort of just rolled out there, actually. It was a bit of a late one, but no, it was good.
Very good. How was the session?
Yeah, awesome. Unfortunately, in bad news, we actually had to call an ambulance, which wasn't very good.
Jeez, what happened?
Yeah, someone unfortunately, she was doing a sit-up and then she decided to get up on her feet and just heard a massive crack and she couldn't weight bear. So good but bad, unfortunately.
That is interesting more than anything. But listen, hopefully she gets better soon, yeah? All right, guys, listen. So sticking with the good vibes, let's talk, guys. So Jake, I want you to just start with a little bit about, firstly, maybe your results. I mean, you've got some really incredible results. I want to hear your results and also maybe how you started with Fit Club as well.
Yeah, awesome. So it's just been over, I think, nearly hitting the 2-year mark, which it's been crazy how quick it's gone. But 2 years ago, nearly, I got invited down by my partner, Jade. We ended up coming down to Fit Club at Bo's gym, actually. And, it was one of those things where I knew how to diet, I knew how to eat, I knew how to exercise. I thought I knew everything because, I came from a national swimming background but I really didn't. I knew nothing. My whole life I got pretty much told what to do. So, I ended up losing 18 kilos in my first 2 months. With that, I've ended up keeping that off till now. I've ramped it up, all the time. I've halved my body fat. So I think I started at about 27% body fat. Now sort of averaging around like the 14, 15% at the moment. I ended up getting down to like nearly 10% at one stage. The muscle mass has been crazy. The last probably month and a half, I've been ramping it up, hitting the gym, ended up gaining like 2.5 kilos of lean muscle, which has been pretty awesome. But yeah, that just sort of all happened because of Fit Club. We talk about it so much. The community is so important. I like I said at the start, I thought I knew what to do, but you sort of get unraveled very quickly. So having good people around you to help you is so important. I think that is the key. If anyone ever wants to get results, you have to do it with people around you. And I take my hat off, and I always thank Jade, for inviting me down, because I didn't want to lose weight. I was happy the way I was. I was fat for 2 years. I quit swimming and it all piled back on. So that was sort of my result, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very interesting as well, because it's funny, first of all, that I want to hear in a second about your swimming background and kind of the history there. So I definitely want to hear that. But it's so funny because a lot of people, especially after high school or after being an athlete of some sort, when they stop doing it, how it can pile on very quickly. Reason being because they were probably never really educated on food, and they were working out so much, and they just thought they could, still do what they were normally doing. Or even as you get older, you still think you can eat the same foods and everything like that. And without educating ourselves on the process or finding some way to balance it out, because obviously you were getting your workouts through swimming, and then when that stops, we forget how important regular exercise is. So, just tell me a little bit more about your swimming background and how that was for you.
So yeah, I ended up, swimming has been a massive part of my whole life. I ended up starting at the age of 10. In swimming terms, that was very late in life. A lot of people started swimming when they were like 4. I ended up swimming. I started way behind everyone. I was so, in regards to being very competitive, I was very far away from what everyone else, I guess I'm always very competitive, so I always want to beat everyone. But swimming was a massive part. Towards the end there, I was training upwards of 9, 10, 11 sessions a week. I was doing 6 mornings at 4:15 because I actually lived in Beenleigh, which is where we have our Fit Club now, which is pretty cool. And I was traveling down to Southport. So, that was like a half an hour drive. It was very massive. But yeah, like Bo sort of said, it was one of those things with swimming, you get told what to do your whole life. I got given what to eat. I got given what to swim. I got given when to exercise, and it was so easy. It was really easy. But like he said, when I stopped, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I did, like I said, but I didn't. I was, being a hypocrite, I guess, in a way, because I really thought I knew. And, guys get on their little high horse and things like that. And, it was hard when I first started going to Fit Club because I thought I knew. And when I sort of let that barrier down and let other people give me their knowledge, that was really when that, results, and that was how I ended up losing 18 kilos. Swimming has been a massive part. It definitely made me the person I am today. And I think I'll go through that a little bit further down the track. And, I guess the person I've become has been definitely why swimming was. So, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And so obviously, 18 kilos, that's a crazy result. And, obviously coming out and, you went from kind of one extreme to the other, which was, obviously hard, but obviously, I keep saying obviously, so the discipline that you had was realistically the advantage when going from, having that weight on to then being able to drop it so quickly. But so I definitely would say, guys, if you are like an ex-athlete or, you know, have that sort of discipline, it makes things a lot easier. Now, what do you think, though, is the main thing for you? Because you needed to kind of come up with a structure then yourself. What was the structure that you found throughout your day? Or what's some of the simple things like, you know, once you get the knowledge of what to eat, how to eat, or how to incorporate exercise, how did you fit it around your lifestyle and to come up with a structure that fits you?
Yeah, you know, like Bo said, structure is key, you know, with anything in life. I think, you know, if you don't have structure if it's just going to work, or, you know, people have children, you know, their structure has to be even better. But yeah, my whole life has had to be structure. You know, when I was swimming, I was actually, like I said, I was training 9 to 10 times a week. I was going to work 3 days a week, and I was studying 2 days a week. So, you know, my life was pretty much crazy. Like if I didn't have a structure, something was going to fail. And, you know, in regards to eating, you know, make it easy. You know, that's the key. You know, the 5-day challenge, you know, that was, you know, starting with things like that is just so easy. You learn what to eat, why you're eating it, when to eat it, when you're eating it. And that's so important because, you know, if you don't have a structure, it just makes it difficult. You know, you can end up getting results, but it makes it it's probably going to take double the time. So, you know, having a structure ended up with my exercising. You know, Fit Club was pretty much just my go-to. I wasn't really a big fan of the gym back then. You know, it really came down to my mindset, which, you know, it took a while. You know, it took a while to get my mindset back. And, you know, once you get back into a structure, and because I'd been in a structure my whole life, it was very easy. It became very easy to do that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to note as well, we talk about structure, discipline, all that sort of stuff. Now, for everyone else that's watching or listening or perhaps watches the repeat, you know, guys, what you need to note is that discipline and structure, it doesn't happen overnight, and discipline and structure can be taught. Don't think that you're like, oh, listen, I'm not disciplined or I don't have a structure. First of all, the structure we give you. If you haven't done the 5-day challenge, do the 5-day challenge. That's your structure, okay? But the discipline, guys, the discipline can be learned. The discipline can be taught. And the easiest way to get discipline is to get leverage on yourself. Now, what I mean by that is by finding something, and, you know, it might be, you know, we were talking about this a little bit today with some of your strategies. Jake, we talk about leveraging yourself, and you kind of play games like, you know, if I hit this, I'm going to get that.
Yep.
Did you ever have any of that sort of stuff with your dieting and exercise?
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things, and, you know, I try and teach this to all of our clients at the moment is you know, that word cheat meal. Now, you know, especially when you first started, because you're going hard, you know, you're eating everything you should be eating. You know, you're not having that, you know, that biscuit, that chocolate, whatever it is during the week. So I was very strict, but I'd always make it a habit that I had to have a cheat meal just once a week, nothing too crazy, but, you know, that was my reward. You know, you got to reward yourself. I think that's so important. Some people, you know, to be honest, I think I probably could have done it and probably could have gone without the cheat meal. But, you know, I think it's something when people are trying to lose weight, they go too hard, and some people can sustain it. A lot of people can't, because, you know, you've got to mentally enjoy it. And that's where the key, and that's where a lot of people fall down, is because they don't enjoy it. Yes, they're getting good results, but it comes at a price. And that's why it ends up piling back on, because you didn't learn. And if you don't learn, that's when it becomes a problem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and absolutely. I don't worry, I'm a big fan of the cheat meal as well. I think it's very important. I usually, you know, for me, I have a one night, and I don't really have a specific night, but I usually pick one night a week where Ev and I, we love going to the movies. So whenever we get out, we go to the movies, we'll have dinner, whatever we want. You know, I'll have chips and gravy and everything, and then I'll have like a nice steak meal, and then followed by that, or sometimes I have a burger for the cheat meal. You know, it's kind of whatever you want. You get one meal a week where it's like, make it worth it. Then we go to the movies and have some little bit of chocolate and popcorn. So that's my cheat meal. And, you know, I do look forward to that every week. And I think it's definitely something that you guys, if you haven't organized, make sure you organize it. It is easier if you can pick a day already that you can look forward to. Say, all right, Friday night, Saturday night, whatever it might be, pick that day and focus on that. Be like, oh man, can't wait to that Friday night meal. Start thinking about it throughout the week. It does help to get through for sure.
Yeah, awesome. I can't agree more.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, without doubt, I shouldn't have to say that one cheat meal a week is plenty, guys. Any more than that, you're going to be into sort of excess calories where you don't really want to be doing. You're just going behind.
Yeah.
So definitely don't cheat yourself. The other thing is, so tell us if you said tell us a few tips, perhaps like your overall tips to help you achieve sort of your ultimate results. Like, do you have like a daily? Do you wake up and you have like a daily routine, a morning routine, or anything like that that puts you in structure? Because we talked about finding that structure. How we do that is by putting ourselves into a pattern, a routine. And so it'd be interesting to know if you have a morning routine, a daily routine, what that might be.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like we said earlier, structure is key. And, it's probably been the last 3 months, I think I've really honed in on my structure. Like I was always having a structure, but I think I made it very clear. So, a general day for me, I'll just say pretty much today, today we ended up waking up at 4:45. Straight away we'll get up, have our shake, tea and tabs. And then we're straight off to the gym. We live at Pimpama, so we end up traveling probably 20 minutes to the gym, smash about an hour workout, end up coming back, we come back from the gym. I end up having to have a shower pretty quickly because I got to get ready to go to work. But in that time, I usually end up going on Facebook because I'm doing 5-day challenges, messaging people, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm pretty much straight off to work. I get stuck in traffic for about an hour, which is pretty average. I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. Usually I try and pop on YouTube or an audio book, something in the background just to sort of get me pumped and motivated. I'm really a big fan. I used to always do it when I, was swimming. I'd, find my favorite music or, find the person I like, watching, which, at the moment is Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm a big fan of him, or Grant Cardone, someone like that. Just get you pumped up, ready for the day, expand that thinking. And then obviously we end up hitting to work. Usually I end up, sort of eating straight away when I get to work because I'm pretty hungry. But yeah, that's sort of my structure. Then obviously having lunch and, get through the day. And when I finish work at about 5, I'm straight off, we're straight off to Fit Club, or most nights we're off to Fit Club, which is probably takes me about an hour, 45 minutes to get to Fit Club. And then, yeah, that's sort of my structure. At night, the structure is very hit and miss. With Fit Club, people talking, et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes it, is very different. I can't say I have a very good night structure at the moment because it's very up and down. But yeah, usually I try and get in some reading a book. I'm a big fan of reading a book. It was something I started probably doing about 4 months ago. And it's probably been the biggest change in my life, in the last probably 6 months, just because it's made my thinking change a lot. When I was going to uni, I hated reading. I just had the worst mindset of reading. And I finally found books that I enjoy. That's the key again, enjoy. I think if you can get anything from this call, make sure you're enjoying what you're doing, because if you're not going to do very well at all. You're going to only, survive it at doing it for a couple months or a couple weeks or a couple days. So, I found books that I enjoy, and I always try and get in about 30 minutes of reading a day. I love it. It's something I never thought I'd ever tell myself, but I love reading, and it's a weird thing to say, but if I can recommend anything, just try and read a book. Find a book you enjoy and read it. Reading is so good. I just love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to note, we were talking about sort of routine there, and absolutely trying to have a routine structured for afternoon, nighttime can be very hard. That's why I think it's very, very important. And you're going to hear this from, from the most successful people on this planet, that your morning routine is the most important part of the day. It sets you up for everything. So having that routine, whether, like you said, you have your shake, tea and tabs, you do some personal development, you do your workout, all that sort of stuff. I think it's very important, very, very important. And so it really sets your day up for success. And listening to some type of motivation, making sure you're letting, good things come into your actual, conscious mind, and that sort of sets your day. I think that's definitely very, very important. All right, so Jake, give me a few more of your top tips and anything like that, and then we'll go from here. If anyone has any questions, guys, get ready for some questions if you have any, or you can type them in our chat box, and we can answer them as we go.
Yeah, awesome. Some top tips. That's always fun. I think a top tip would be just knowing why you're getting up. I think, we spoke about structure and having a structured day, but, when you wake up and have a bad day, which most people, everyone does, everyone's human. So, when you have those bad days, knowing why you're waking up is so important. We end up getting early. We get up early for a reason. I don't have enough time. I really don't have enough time to work out. So I get up early. That was a big thing for me as well. I used to do it when I swam, but I always told myself I didn't want to do it. So, getting up early and knowing why. I have such a strong why, and I guess that probably be another call you could do. But having a strong why is so important. Know why you're doing it. Know why you're waking up. But another big thing that Jade and I have probably just started doing in the last 3 months again, has been visualization. So we have a board. We speak about goals all the time, and hitting goals, hitting this, hitting that. But when you can see what you want to achieve, that could be the dream body. That could be a holiday you want to go on. It could be having the date night you can't afford. Whatever goal it is, put it up there, because when you put it up there, you're accountable. That big word called accountability. Accountability is so important. And, I'm assuming most people who are going to listen to this, will have a coach. Use them. They're your accountability partner. They will help you. Your friend, your partner. Find someone that will be your accountability partner, and anything is possible. Like, seriously, anything. I think that's so important. But the last tip is just reading. I put this, I was thinking again, I know we spoke about it before, but find a book, find an easy book. Some of the books we ended up starting off with was one that Bo recommended, I think actually was the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. It doesn't sound it sounds a bit weird, but it's awesome. It's a good book. The other book was How to Win Friends and Influence People. Now I'm actually quite shy by nature. So, doing something like this is very out of my comfort zone. But one thing I've grown to actually enjoy quite a lot is, talking in front of people. But they're sort of my top tips. And yeah, that's sort of it. But if anyone has any questions, let me know. I'm definitely happy to answer any.
That's awesome. All right, one last question from me then, Jake. What is your favorite wow shake, and how do you make it?
My wow shake. I definitely handball this one over to Jade actually, because she makes all the shakes all the time. But it would be handball that one off real quick. Jade's in the background.
Jade doesn't make anything.
What's
the best shake? The best shake that I get made for me. I'm a big fan of berries. Anything berry or mango. Definitely love adding that. The key, and that was also another big thing. Having a wow shake is awesome. For probably the last year and a half, I just used to have a shake on its own. And I love that as well. But having a wow shake, it just makes you wake up and be like, I can't wait to have my shake. It's such a good feeling. But, I always end up having a shake with berries, lots of ice, make it into like a thick shake. And I'm a big fan of granola. I love adding like granola on top with a bit of like coconut. That's just sort of the topping I love to add. I know it's a bit of extra carbs, but I love it. That's just my go-to for sure.
Awesome. So guys, if you guys have any questions, we'll open it up, and or you can raise a hand on the chat box, or you can add anything in the chats. Apart from that, guys, if we don't get any questions come through, we're going to end it there. Okay, so I'll leave that for about 10 seconds. You have 10 seconds, guys. All right. Dun, 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 dun.
Jade can ask a question. She's in the other room.
What's that? Jade's gone to the other room to ask some questions. Guys, you can always, we're going to upload this video I'm going to put it on YouTube, and then I'll upload this to the community page. Guys, Jake's obviously on that page, so once you watch it, or if you watch this recording later on, you can actually ask the questions in that chat, and Jake will answer those questions there as well. All right, guys, one more time, guys, let's unmute everyone. Give Jake a big round of applause, and thank you, Jake, for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Jake. Well done. Give him a clap, guys.
Thank you. I hope I did it right. Definitely was a little bit nervous, but that's all right. We make it work.
Absolutely. All right. Well, listen, that's it from us, guys. We'll have some of the coaches, guys, stay on. We're just going to finish up with a little bit of a coach agenda training, and then we'll see everybody else tomorrow or the next day. Guys, gala. Guys, if you get the gala ticket, it is crazy. You should see what we have planned. Jake, are you coming to the gala? What are you wearing?
Yes, gala. So excited for it. This Saturday, guys. What was that? I have my suit ready. I'm wearing a suit for sure. Jake's wearing her formal dress. We're going to look sexy.
Awesome. Oh, here comes Jade.
There she is.
I'm so proud of him.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Jake. It's not easy to do any type of public speaking. So, in such a large format, we want to thank you again. And thanks, everyone, for coming on. And we'll speak to you. I'll stop the recording now, and we'll speak to everybody else soon. All the other coaches, guys, just stay on. Everybody else, thanks for coming on.